Hello friends, myself Nalinikanta Jana. My topic is simple harmonic motion. So today we will discuss simple harmonic motion. Before going to the details of simple harmonic motion, first of all we should know what is simple harmonic motion. Simple harmonic motion. What I feel, motion will be simple harmonic if we know what is harmonic motion. So first we should know harmonic motion. Then question arises, what is harmonic motion? It is the bounded oscillatory motion. So, to know harmonic motion, we have to know oscillatory motion. Then question arises, what is oscillatory motion? It is a periodic to and fro motion. Then question arises, what is periodic motion? Okay. To know the details of simple harmonic motion, first we have to know what is periodic motion, then oscillatory motion, then harmonic motion, and final simple harmonic motion. Now, what is periodic motion? You must have come across in your daily life different physical situations like the motion of earth around sun, the motion of earth around moon, the motion of Halley's comet in a period of 76 years, the motion of the needle of a sewing machine, the motion of a ball in a bowl. There are various cases we come across in our daily life, and all these motions what I have told are the examples of periodic motion. Then what is periodic motion? It is the motion which repeats at a regular interval of time. Periodic motion is the motion in which the body comes back to the initial condition after a regular interval of time. So, periodic motion is a regular repetition of motion. And what I have told, these are the common examples of periodic motion. Then question arises, what is oscillatory motion? A motion will be oscillatory only when it is periodic and it should have the motion like to and fro, that is back and forth motion. That means oscillatory motion is a periodic motion which executes to and fro, or oscillatory motion is the motion which has a period and to and fro. That means for oscillatory motion the conditions are periodic and to and fro. Now, what are the common examples of oscillatory motion? The motion of the needle of a sewing machine is periodic. If a ball is in motion in a bowl, then its motion is oscillatory. And the motion of a girl in a swing is also oscillatory. In oscillatory motion, the body goes back and forth, that means to and fro. Now, question arises, what is harmonic motion? Harmonic motion is a periodic harmonic motion is a bounded oscillatory motion. And we know a motion will be oscillatory only when it is periodic and to and fro. So, a harmonic motion should have the conditions periodic, to and fro, and bounded. A harmonic motion is a type of motion which is periodic, to and fro, and bounded. That is, a bounded oscillatory motion is known as harmonic motion. And to express harmonic motion mathematically, we have to take the help of trigonometric functions like sine, cosine and their combinations, because out of these 6 trigonometric functions, only sine and cosine functions are periodic and bounded. That is why while expressing our harmonic motion mathematically, graphically, we have to take the help of trigonometric functions like sine function and cosine function, and hence we can express the displacement of a particle at any instant of time in harmonic motion as y is equal to a sin omega t, or y is equal to a cos omega t, or their linear combination y is equal to a sin omega t plus b cos omega t. Now, our aim is to know what is simple harmonic motion. Already we know what is harmonic motion. Then under what condition a harmonic motion becomes a simple harmonic? The answer is very simple. Harmonic motion will be simple harmonic if its acceleration varies directly with the negative of the displacement. That is, a harmonic motion whose acceleration varies directly with its displacement in a negative order, then it will be known as your simple harmonic motion. So, for the motion of a body to be simple harmonic, these conditions should be satisfied. The number one is, it should be periodic. Number 2, it should have to and fro motion. Number 3, it should be bounded. And the fourth condition is f proportional to minus y, or acceleration proportional to negative of displacement. I hope it is clear to you what is simple harmonic motion. Once again I am repeating, for the motion to be periodic, it should repeat at a regular interval of time, and periodic motion will be oscillatory when there is to and fro motion or back and forth motion. That means for any type of motion to be oscillatory, it should have periodic and to and fro motion conditions. Now, oscillatory motion will be harmonic only when it is bounded. That means any type of motion will be harmonic motion if it satisfies the conditions like periodic, to and fro and bounded. Now, a harmonic motion will be simple harmonic when the force acting on it varies directly with the negative of the displacement. That means its acceleration should vary directly with the negative of the displacement. That means for a simple harmonic motion, these four conditions should be satisfied. One is the periodic, the second one is to and fro, third one is bounded, and the fourth one is f proportional to minus y, or the acceleration proportional to the negative of the displacement. Okay. Now we are clear what is simple harmonic motion. Now in considering simple harmonic motion, we have to come across two different positions during the motion, and these two different positions are commonly known as the mean position and the extreme positions. That means there is only one mean position and two extreme positions. I am explaining this through a diagram. Now I am explaining the different positions in simple harmonic motion through a diagram. Let this is a roof, and through a string a body is hanged from the roof. Now if a tangential force acts on this bob, then it will try to oscillate like this. When the body moves to these positions, then at these positions its velocity will become 0, and these positions are known as extreme positions, whereas this position is known as the mean position. Let us know what is mean position and what is extreme position. Let us have a comparative study. Mean position, extreme positions. What is mean position? It is the position from which the motion is considered. What is mean position? It is the position from which the motion is considered. Come to this point, if the bob is here and when it is given a tangential force, then it will start moving here, and as the body moves along this, its displacement from this position increases. So we have to consider the motion from this position. That is, mean position is the position from which the motion is considered. That is the point from which the displacement is measured. That is the point from which the displacement is measured. Mean position, it is the position from which the motion is considered, that is the point from which the displacement is measured. Similarly, then what is extreme position? There are two extreme positions, so we can write these are the positions up to which the motion is considered. If the body executes SHM, then these are the extreme positions beyond which there will be no motion. So we have to consider till these points. Hence, extreme positions are the positions up to which the motion is considered. And now What happens to the mean position? If the motion is considered from this position, that means from which the displacement is measured, hence the displacement of the body at this mean position will be 0. Okay. Now, what are the characteristics of mean position and extreme position? Number 1, the displacement equal to y equal to 0. Here displacement equal to y equal to plus minus a, where a represents the amplitude of oscillation. Number 2, velocity at a mean position is equal to maximum, whereas velocity v at the extreme positions is 0 is equal to minimum, but the displacement y is equal to plus minus a is equal to maximum, and at mean position the displacement is y is equal to 0 is equal to minimum. Now, what happens to the acceleration of the body executing SHM at a mean position and at extreme positions? Now, the acceleration becomes equal to 0, that is minimum. In case of extreme positions, acceleration is equal to a is equal to maximum. These are the characteristics of mean position and extreme positions. But in our CBCS syllabus, your SHM is started with the topic differential equation of SHM, because the introduction to SHM and the characteristics like velocity, acceleration, displacement, all these characters are discussed in the intermediate classes. So, here we have to start the SHM with differential equation of SHM, for which I have already given a brief introduction of SHM. Now, the topic starts with differential equation of SHM. To derive the differential equation of SHM, let us first consider a body of mass m executing SHM. Now, as the body executes SHM, from the definition of SHM, we know that the acceleration of the body varies directly with the negative of the displacement. That is, in SHM, acceleration varies directly with negative of displacement, implies F also varies with the negative of the displacement, implies F is equal to some constant k and this is minus ky, where k is the force constant. But in any type of motion, according to Newton's second law, we know that F is equal to the product of mass and acceleration. That is, according to Newton's law, F is equal to ma, where m is the mass and a is the acceleration of the body. But if y is the displacement of the body, then its acceleration will be the double derivative of displacement. that is acceleration A is equal to d square y by dt square. So, this equation will be written as m d square y by dt square. Now, from these two equations we can write m d square y by dt square is equal to minus ky, which implies m d square y by dt square plus ky is equal to 0, implies d square y by dt square plus k by m into y is equal to 0, implies d square y by dt square plus omega square y is equal to 0. This is the differential equation of SHM, where omega is equal to root over of k by m. Now, if this is the differential equation of SHM, then it must have a solution, and this is known as differential equation because it has the double derivative, that is differential coefficient. That is why it is known as the differential equation of SHM. And in your mathematics, you must have known about the solution of a differential equation. And since this is a differential equation, we have to find out its solution. The solution of a differential equation can be obtained in different methods. The first one should be the heat and trial method. That means, let us first choose a solution, and then we have to justify that this solution is the exact solution of that given differential equation. And to have the solution of this differential equation of SHM, let us consider the displacement of the body executing SHM at any instant of time as y is equal to a sin omega t, where a is the amplitude of SHM, and let us choose this as the solution of the differential equation of SHM. And now from this equation, by differentiating, we can get dy by dt, which is equal to d by dt of a sin omega t. As amplitude is the maximum displacement and is constant, hence it can be taken outside, and we get a d of sin omega t by dt, which gives you cos omega t into omega, which implies dy by dt is equal to a omega cos omega t. Further differentiating this equation with respect to t, we can write d by dt of dy by dt, which is equal to d by dt of a omega cos omega t. Now, from this we can write d square y by dt square is equal to a omega is constant and d by dt of cos omega t. And from the derivative of cos omega t, we know that it will be a omega into minus sin omega t into omega, which will give you minus a omega square sin omega t. On simplifying, we can write minus omega square a sin omega t implies which is equal to minus omega square y implies d square y by dt square plus omega square y equal to 0, and this is the differential equation of SHM. That is why what we have chose y is equal to a sin omega t is the correct solution of this differential equation of SHM. Here we have chosen y is equal to a sin omega t because while we are discussing about simple harmonic motion, I have already told you that a simple harmonic motion is a harmonic motion with its acceleration varies directly with the negative of the displacement. And for a harmonic motion, we have to express in terms of functions of trigonometric functions like sine and cosine functions. That is why I have taken here y is equal to a sin omega t, and differentiating 2 times we have arrived at the differential equation of SHM. That is why y is equal to a sin omega t is the correct solution of this differential equation of SHM. The other solutions of this differential equation of SHM are the other solutions of this differential equation of SHM are y is equal to b cos omega t, and proceeding in the similar manner and taking the derivatives 2 times we can also arrive at this condition. Similarly, another solution of this differential equation of SHM will be y equal to a sin omega t plus b cos omega t. Exactly proceeding in the similar manner, we can arrive at here. So, now we came to know the differential equation of SHM and its solutions. Now, we have to go to the details of SHM. That means we have to know what are the displacements, velocities, acceleration, kinetic energy, potential energy and total energy of the body executing SHM. Though there is only the energy expressions in SHM in your syllabus, but I would like to express displacement, velocity and acceleration for your better clarification. Let us first know the expression for displacement, and already in deriving the solution of equation of SHM we have taken y is equal to a sin omega t as the solution, and that is the expression for the displacement. So, the displacement is y at any instant of time t is equal to a sin omega t at mean position. At mean position y is equal to 0 because this omega t seems to be 0 and sin omega t will be 0. So, y will be 0. At extreme positions, omega t will be pi by 2 and sin pi by 2 will be 1, and that is why y equal to a equal to maximum, and here at the mean position the displacement is 0 and is minimum. Similarly, we have to find out the velocity at the extreme position and also at the mean position. Then how we can get the velocity? In our mechanics, kinematics, we must have known What is velocity? It is the time rate of change of displacement. And if y is equal to a sin omega t is the displacement in SHM, then its velocity will be the derivative of displacement v is equal to dy by dt, which is equal to a omega cos omega t. Further, on simplifying, we can write cos omega t can be expressed in terms of sin omega t as root over of 1 minus sin square omega t. Taking a into the root over, I can write omega root over of a square minus a square sin square omega t. But I know y is equal to a sin omega t. So, a square sin square omega t will represent y square. So, in this place of a square sin square omega t, I can write y square. So, our velocity becomes as omega into root over of a square minus y square. So, at the mean position, then what happens to the velocity? At the mean position, already we have found y is equal to 0, that is displacement is 0. So, by putting the value of y at here, we can write v is equal to how much? Omega into root over of a square minus y square, but at the mean position y is 0. So, this becomes as omega into root over of a square, which is omega a. V is equal to plus minus omega a. That means velocity is maximum. This is maximum at the mean position. Similarly, what is the velocity at the extreme positions? And we know at the extreme positions y is equal to plus minus a. So, putting the value of y here, we can write a square minus y square, and in place of y we can write a. So, v is equal to omega into root over of a square minus a square, which is 0. That means at the extreme positions y is maximum and v is equal to 0 is equal to minimum. Similarly, we can calculate the expression for acceleration in SHM. Here acceleration is the derivative of velocity. That means it is the double derivative of acceleration. Here d square y by dt square. So, this can be termed as acceleration. So, acceleration will be equal to d square y by dt square is equal to a omega d by dt of cos omega t, which can be written as a omega into minus sin omega t into omega. Now, lastly we can get a is equal to minus omega square y. This is the expression for the acceleration. Similarly, as in the previous case, for displacement and velocity we have found at mean position and extreme positions. We can also calculate the acceleration at the mean position and also at the extreme positions. Now, let us come to the point. At the mean position y is equal to 0. Now, putting the value of y here, we can write a is equal to 0 is equal to minimum at the mean position. Similarly, at the extreme positions, the value of displacement is maximum and is equal to plus minus a. So, putting the value of y as plus minus a here in this expression for acceleration, we can write a is equal to plus or minus omega square a, and that is maximum. From these discussions, we have arrived at the conclusions that at the mean position, the displacement is minimum, the velocity is plus minus omega a and is maximum, and the acceleration is 0 and is minimum. And at the extreme positions, the displacement is maximum and is equal to the amplitude of the oscillation, and the velocity is minimum, which is 0, and the corresponding acceleration at the extreme positions is maximum and is equal to plus minus omega square a. Now we have calculated and found the values of displacement, velocity and acceleration in case of a simple harmonic motion at the points mean position and extreme positions. Let us calculate the total energy of the body executing SHM. Then what is the total energy of the body executing SHM? The total energy is the sum of its kinetic energy and potential energy. So, to find the total energy of the body executing SHM, we have to first calculate its kinetic energy and then its potential energy, and summing these two energies we can get the total energy of the body executing SHM. Let us calculate the kinetic energy first. Let us calculate the kinetic energy first. Previously, we have known what is kinetic energy. It is the energy possessed by the body by virtue of its motion, and the expression for kinetic energy is kinetic energy is equal to T is equal to half mv square. It is known to us. But what happens to the kinetic energy in case of SHM? Here in SHM we have found out V is equal to omega to root over of a square minus y square, which implies as V square is equal to omega square into a square minus y square. So, putting the value of a V square in the expression of kinetic energy, we can write kinetic energy is equal to T is equal to half m omega square to a square minus y square. Now, we can also find out the value of kinetic energy at the mean position and at the extreme positions. Let us write here. Kinetic energy T will be how much? At the mean position y is equal to 0, at the extreme positions y is equal to plus minus a. So, by putting the value of y as 0 at the mean position, we can get kinetic energy will be how much? Half m omega square a square minus 0, and it will be half m omega square a square, and this is the maximum value of kinetic energy. Similarly, at the extreme positions y is equal to plus minus a. So, putting the value of y here, we can get the value of kinetic energy as T is equal to half m omega square a square minus a square, which gives result 0. So, the value of kinetic energy at the extreme positions is equal to 0, which is minimum. From this, we conclude that the kinetic energy is maximum at the mean position and is minimum at the extreme positions. Now, our aim is to calculate the potential energy of the body executing SHM. Now, to derive the expression for the potential energy, we have to find out the work done during the body executing SHM. Then to find work done W, we have to first calculate dW, and integrating dW we can get W, which is nothing but your potential energy. Potential energy. potential energy is equal to W is equal to integration dW, which is equal to integration F dx, because we know that work done is the dot product of force and displacement. If due to a force F, if there is a displacement dx, then the work done is dW, which is equal to F dx. So, the total amount of work done is equal to the integration of dW, which is equal to the integration of F dx. But in SHM, F is equal to minus K x, or if we place here y, then here we have to write dy, it will be y. Now, putting the value of f here, we can write W equal to minus integration K y. But what is the value of K? Previously, while we are deriving the differential equation of SHM, I have told you that omega square is equal to K by M. So, K will be how much? M omega square. So, here we can write integration M omega square y dy from the integration limit from 0 to y. And we can write this as M omega square integration y dy, which is equal to M omega square into y square by 2. So, potential energy is equal to V is equal to half M omega square y square. This is the expression for the potential energy of a body executing SHM. Now, we have to find out the values of potential energy of the body executing SHM at the mean position and at the extreme positions. At the mean position, y is 0. So, putting the value of y here, we can write the potential energy V as half m omega square into 0, which is equal to 0. So, potential energy V is equal to 0 is equal to minimum at the mean position. Similarly, at the extreme positions, y is equal to plus minus a. So, by putting the value of y here, we can get potential energy equal to V equal to half m omega square a square. V equal to half m omega square a square, which is equal to maximum. Thus, we can conclude that the potential energy is minimum at the mean position and is maximum at the extreme positions. Now, the total energy of a body executing in SHM is the sum of its kinetic energy and potential energy. So, to calculate the total energy of the body in SHM, we have to write the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy. Total energy. Total energy is the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy. If we write E for total energy, then E is equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy. But we know that the expression for kinetic energy is half m omega square y square. And also the expression for potential energy is half m omega square within bracket a square minus y square. Now expanding this bracket we can write half m omega square y square plus half m omega square a square minus half m omega square y square. Half m omega square y square and minus half m omega square y square get cancelled. So the total energy of the body executing SHM now becomes as E is equal to half m omega square a square. As we have calculated previously, the kinetic energy and potential energy at the mean position and at extreme positions. Hence, we can also calculate the total energy at mean positions and extreme positions, for which we have to put y equal to 0 at the mean position and y equal to plus minus a at the extreme positions. But unfortunately, there is no y in the expression for total energy in SHM. So, the total energy in SHM will not change at a mean position or at extreme position or anywhere in its path. That means the total energy is a constant quantity throughout its motion, and so we can write at the mean position total energy E is equal to half m omega square a square. Also the total energy at the extreme positions is half m omega square a square. Now we conclude that at the mean position the kinetic energy is maximum, the potential energy is minimum, but the total energy is constant. And the extreme position the kinetic energy is minimum and the potential energy is maximum and the total energy is constant. And from these two expressions, by adding this kinetic energy and potential energy, we get the same total energy. And similarly at the extreme position, the sum of this kinetic energy and potential energy gives the same value of the total energy what we have obtained. Now the kinetic energy and the potential energy and the total energy of the particle executing SHM can be plotted graphically. Let us now plot these three energies of the body executing SHM graphically. Okay, now we have to plot the kinetic energy, potential energy and the total energy of a body executing in SHM graphically. Let this position is taken as the origin and along y axis let energy is taken and let this is the mean position, and these two positions are the extreme positions. As already we have discussed, the displacement at extreme positions is plus minus y. Hence, according to this coordinates axis, here we can write as plus a and here it is minus a and here the displacement is 0. Let along this axis the maximum energy is here and is equal to half m omega square a square. Now for kinetic energy at the mean position it is maximum and its value is half m omega square a square, this one. At the extreme positions the kinetic energy is 0. So here it is at this point and it is at this point. So by plotting the graph we can draw like this. and this graph represents the kinetic energy of the body executing SHM. Similarly, for potential energy, at the mean position the potential energy is 0, yes, like this, and at the extreme positions the potential energy is maximum and is equal to half m omega square s square, and these are the extreme positions. So, here are the 2 points which represent the potential energy at the extreme positions. So, by plotting the graph we can draw like this. And now for total energy E is equal to half m omega square s square, we can write at the mean position it is half m omega square s square, at the extreme positions it is also like this. So, this graph represents the total energy, this graph represents the kinetic energy, and this graph represents the potential energy. From this graph we can conclude that as we proceed from the mean position towards the extreme positions, the kinetic energy gradually decreases and becomes 0 at the extreme position, whereas the potential gradually increases and becomes maximum at the extreme positions, and the total energy remains same throughout the motion. So, from this we can conclude that if we move from the mean position towards the extreme position, then our kinetic energy decreases and potential energy increases, and at certain point both the kinetic energy and potential energy will have same value, and that will be equal to half of the total energy. At certain value during its motion, the kinetic energy and the potential energy will have same value and will be equal to half of the total energy. Now we have to find out the point at which the kinetic energy and the potential energy are equal and half of the total energy, and let us calculate the point at which the total energy is half kinetic and half potential. Okay? At what point from the mean position the total energy is half kinetic and half potential, that is total kinetic energy is equal to half of total energy. We have to find out the point at which the total energy is half kinetic and half potential. Let us calculate the kinetic energy to be half of total energy. As we know from the expression for kinetic energy, T is equal to half m omega square y square, and from the expression of total energy we know that it is half of m omega square s square. Now half of get cancelled, m omega square get cancelled, which implies y square is equal to half of s square, implies y is equal to a by root 2. That is, at a displacement of a by root 2, the total energy is half kinetic and half potential, where a is the amplitude of oscillation. For example, if we are given the amplitude of oscillation as 4 centimeter, then at what point from the mean position the total energy is half kinetic and half potential. Now we can calculate this by putting here a is equal to 4 centimeter. So y will be how much? A by root 2, which is equal to 4 by root 2, which is equal to 2 root 2 centimeter. So if the amplitude is 4 centimeter, then at a displacement of 2 root 2 centimeter, the total energy is half kinetic and half potential. Okay students, today we have discussed about the introduction of simple harmonic motion, its characteristics like displacement, velocity, acceleration, and also we have discussed the differential equation of SHM and its solution, and also we have calculated the value of kinetic energy, potential energy and total energy of a particle executing SHM, and we have given a comparative study of these energies at the mean position and also at the extreme positions. I hope you must have a better understanding of this introduction of simple harmonic motion. Thanking you all.